What is going on, guys? We are back with episode 5 of my Witchery tutorial series, and we're going to be going over infusions today, and specifically player infusions. Now, there's two types of infusions. There's player infusions and there's item infusions. Now, what I did last episode in the circle magic, I actually did an infusion with the flying ointment on the broom. That's an object infusion. It's a lot simpler than player infusions, so we're going to go over the player infusions today, and what you learn from that can be translated back to object infusions because it's basically the same process except a couple less steps. Now, the first infusion we're going to be going over is going to be the Infusion of Other Way. Now, to do this infusion, you're going to need the Spirit of Other Way. You only need one. When you make it in the kettle, you're going to get two. You're only going to need one, so unless you're flipping back and forth between infusions, you're not going to need the second one. You can just store it away. And for the Spirit of Other Way infusion, you're going to need Other Way chalk because, Spirit of Other Way. Now, each one of these is going to use a specific chalk to it. This is the only one that uses Other Way chalk. And to make the Spirit of Other Way, you're going to use this in the kettle. It's not made in the crafting station, but you're going to have to put in 2 Eyes of Ender, a Drop of Luck, Wool of Bat, Potion of Swiftness, that's 8 minutes, and then Redstone Soup. Throw that into the kettle, make sure it has power, and you get to scoop out 2 using bottles. Now, the Spirit of Other Way, or the Infusion of Other Way, I should say, is going to allow you to set a recall point wherever you want and teleport back to there. Using the power infused in you, you're going to be able to teleport short distances. You're going to be able to move mobs. It's a really practical infusion, especially if you're on a PvP server. Now, this is the one I use on our server. The other ones are a little bit less practical, but I'll go over those in a little bit. But this one is the one that we're going to be going over in depth today. So the second player infusion is going to be the Infusion of Light. Now, this infusion, in my opinion, is the least practical, but I'll go over it anyway. You're going to need a Ghost of the Light, and then you're just going to need regular ritual chalk. Now, once again, you're going to get 2 Ghosts of the Light. When you put this into a kettle, and you're going to use Redstone Soup, Potion of Invisibility for 8 minutes, Potion of Fire Resistance, 8 minutes, Tongue of Dog, Torch, and a Fire Protection Poppet. Now, like I said, I don't think this is the most practical, but it's going to allow you to bend light, and you can make yourself invisible. You can also encase yourself in blocks basically made from thin air. You can make a bridge to walk across for out of thin air, and remember, it's not permanent, but it'll go away. So it's just kind of handy, for moving around, for protecting yourself. The best part of it would be the invisibility. But in my opinion, this is the least effective of the player infusions. The third infusion is the Infusion of the Overworld. Now, this is actually a really cool infusion. I haven't tested it out myself, but I know the effects of it. You're first going to need 1 Soul of the World. Like I said before, you're going to get 2, and you're just going to need regular ritual chalk. Now, to make Soul of the World, you're going to need 1 Redstone Soup, an attuned stone, a Mandrake Root, Rowan Sapling, Golden Apple, and Potion of Regeneration for 2 minutes. Now, the Soul of the World actually has a passive effect, and when you fall on grass or dirt, you won't take any fall damage. It'll just break the block you fall on. So that's pretty handy, but it's only grass or dirt, remember that. The other 2 don't have passives, and it's also going to allow you to push back mobs, push them away from you, and manipulate earth by sending out shockwaves around you and raising columns of earth through the use of the infused power in the player. Now, the last infusion for a player, and probably the weirdest infusion, is the Infernal Infusion. Now, this is going to require 1 Infernal Animus. Once again, I'm going to say you're going to get 2. You only need 1. And you're going to need Infernal Chalk. Infernal Animus, Infernal Chalk. And to make the Infernal Animus, you're going to need a Demon Heart, Redstone Soup, Potion of Harming Instant Damage 2, Refined Evil, a Blaze Rod, and a Voodoo Poppet. Now, the Infernal Animus, or the Infernal Infusion, I should say, is going to allow you to manipulate mobs, get them to attack each other, get them to attack other players, and it has no innate passive, but when you sacrifice a mob, you get specific effects from that mob. Like if you sacrifice a spider, you can shoot webs. If you sacrifice a creeper, you can explode. So it's weird. Like I said, it's effective on a PvP server. Doesn't really have any effects if you're playing just single player or something like that, or more of a building server, but it's still interesting. Now, there's 2 books from the Witchery mod that can help you along with what we're going to be doing today, and I suggest you make them. They'll come in handy as you're going through the process if you don't feel like looking things up. There's the Witchcraft, Brews, and Infusions, and the Witchcraft Circle Magic. Now, I'm not going to go over the recipes for these because I went over the recipes in a previous video, and they're extremely simple. They're just going to take some ink, some feathers, a book, and 2 other random ingredients. So I guess we can jump right into the infusion then. So I have my altar set up here. You're going to need an altar that has at least 4,000 power for every infusion except for the Infusion of Light. That only requires 2,000 power. And if you're curious about this, you can look in the Witchcraft Circle Magic. You can go to the second to last tab, and that has the different rites of infusion. You can see there's the Ghost of Light that requires 2,000 altar power, takes a 7x7 and an 11x11 made out of regular ritual chalk. The Rite Infusion for the Soul of the World, 4,000 altar power, same as before, 7x7 and 11x11 out of regular ritual chalk. Spirit of Otherware Infusion, 4,000 altar power, 7x7 and 11x11 out of Otherware chalk. And then the Infernal Animus, altar power 4,000, 7x7 and 11x11 out of Infernal chalk. So, like I said, today we're going to be doing the Spirit of Otherware Infusion. So, we can just toss this down. All you need is the Spirit of Otherware. Right click. And we are good to go. Now, I'm in creative right now. A regular player would die. You need to remember this. You would die. So you need to make a death protection poppet, because the power is going to kill you, and it'll consume the poppet. You'll live, you'll keep the power, and you'll get this little bar on the left-hand side of the screen. But you need to remember that you need a voodoo or a death protection poppet, because it will kill you, because the power allegedly would overwhelm you. So I'm just warning you guys, you'll die. Now next, we're going to need to use a witch's hand to actually use our infusion on the player, no matter what infusion. Doesn't have to be a specific witch's hand. It works with any infusion, so if you switch, you can keep using the same witch's hand. And you're going to see, as I right click and teleport around, I'll just teleport around a bit, and I can hold it and right click. I'm going to run out of power. So let's see if we can get it to go down a little bit. It might not, because I'm in creative, but regularly a player would lose the power. Now there's a simple way to recharge the power that you get. You're going to start at full, and it's going to take you a while to work your way down through the power, but when you eventually get down, you don't have to re-infuse yourself. You're going to use a rite of charging. Now this is in the Witchcraft Circle Magic. You can go to the beginning, flip through a couple pages, and you'll find a rite of charging. Now there's a rite of charging for attuned stones. That's not what we want. We're going to use the rite of charging, and that's going to take a potion of regeneration, 45 seconds, and 4,000 altar power. Now, I'm guessing if you have 4,000 altar power, your altar will recharge fast enough, but it's going to require 40 power per second in a 7x7 and an 11x11 circle out of regular ritual chalk. So, let's go check over here. We'll make sure our altar is going to have enough power. Yep. We've got the potion of regeneration. We'll toss that down. We'll right click. And now it should regenerate our power whenever we're standing in the inner circle. So you can see it'll be consuming the power over here. So it's not going to recharge as fast as normal, but it will be recharging our power when we stand in the inner circle. Remember that. Not in the outer circle. You need to be in the inner circle. And that's it for today, guys. I hope I helped you guys out with the infusions. I'm sorry I didn't go over every infusion, but what I taught you guys today can be applied to every infusion. It's basically the same thing, except for the infusible ingredient you're going to be using and the chalk you're going to be using. The recharging is the same for every infusion. The witch's hand is the same for every infusion. The need for a death protection poppet is the same for every infusion. So just remember that. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to post them in the comments. If you want to see anything specific next video, also feel free to post that in the comments. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you found it useful. And if you have any questions on anything that I had in a previous video, you can post that in the comments here too, or in a previous video. You can check the comments there because someone might have already asked that. Talk to you guys later.